Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efene. Great Malabite, good morning.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning.
Good morning, Adesua.
Good morning.
I'm Moteko. I hope there's no battle ahead. Okay, now let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of records. The lead story, PDP governors, Secondus, rich deal. Convention may be brought forward. Is the only way to remove him. Dixon insists. I will not resign, says party chair. Senate, House caucuses support peace moves. Party commences online membership registration. Yes, according to the report, this day, the governors who will continue their meeting today seem to have reached a deal to bring forward the convention of the party, because that is where decisions can be taken and be binding. And if we go by this projection, this they gathered that the December convention might be brought forward to either October or November. But the chairman, the embattled chairman of PDP, which is Secondus, is saying, I'm going nowhere, I'm not resigning. So we'll see how it pans out, but indications are that with the efforts of the governors and the panel set up by the BOT putting heads together, there might just be a window towards working in unity again within the PDP. But if they don't, as some other newspapers are reporting, then, of course, we may just see some implosion within the opposition party. Now, the Punch newspaper reporting this story, Secondus fate on certain PDP governors meeting, deadlock, National Working Committee reps divided. 6 National Working Committee members insist on chairman's resignation. I will not resign, Secondus vows. We will continue meeting tomorrow. Issues will be resolved as a family, says Tambuwa. Aminu Tambuwa, governor of Sokoto State, was the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum. Now, the Guardian newspaper of Nigeria, Secondus, PDP governors, 6-hour meeting, deadlock. While the Daily Sun newspaper, the lead story in this Daily Sun newspaper, APC PDP crisis gets messier. Police occupation of ruling party national secretariat heightens tension. 9 opposition parties national working committee members hold parallel meeting as 4 vice chairman groups advise Secondus to quit. I won't resign, embattled chairman. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, PDP crisis, Secondus adamant as 6 National Working Committee members asked him to resign. Now, above the masthead of the Nigerian Tribune, court orders permanent forfeiture of properties linked to Okorocha. Yes, there was interim forfeiture, and, of course, Rochas Okorocha challenged that, but now the court has ruled that there should be permanent forfeiture. Recall that the previous PDP governor that was removed, of course, set up the panel that looked into Rochas Okorocha's regime or administration and what they considered. The panel came up with these recommendations. And, of course, Hope Uzodinma upheld that. And today, it's been reported that the courts have granted permanent forfeiture of properties linked to Okorocha. Of course, I'm sure IBB will be looking at that report also. People who have dipped their hand into the till and are walking free. Now, the News Direct newspaper, leadership crisis, tension in APC PDP camps. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, Twitter ban, while Nigeria's foot dragging on dialogue with microblogging firm. Recall that the federal government set up a high-powered team, if you will, the first 11 of this administration, to dialogue with Twitter on the way forward. But according to this report, the federal government team is deliberately foot-dragging in order to prolong the ban on Twitter, to give Nigerians perhaps the opportunity to forget about Twitter. Well, I'm sure before long, somebody somewhere will talk to Twitter. If not within the next 2 years, maybe the administration that will come after. But I think it's good that that team set up with so much pomp should engage Twitter, and let's see the outcome so that Nigerians can have access to Twitter once again. And the government claim it will make so much money from Twitter so that we can see how they will make so much money. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, IPOB forces residents up streets in Southeast, traps passengers, 3 buses set ablaze in Imo, students miss NECO exams, 2 killed in bloody clash in Nnewi, sit-at-home order observed in Aba, ignored in Umuahia. The Daily Trust is reporting. Now, the Leadership newspaper, Niger commissioner abducted, joins 238 others in bandits' den. Yes, 136 Islamia pupils, 59 farmers, 33 others still in captivity. Kidnappers strike in Kwara, abduct 9, demand 30 million. I'm reading from the Leadership newspaper to tell us that the insecurity is still very much high in parts of this country. Now, the foreign newspapers quickly. The Guardian newspaper of UK, global climate crisis, inevitable, unprecedented, and irreversible. Now, devastating report is code red, warning for humanity, UN chief says. Rapid and drastic cut in CO2 emission needed this decade, warns IPCC. That's the International Panel on Climate Change, the leading authority in the world's leading authority in climate science. And this report is quite scary, as we can see with the bushfire across Europe and in the United States. And according to this report, the future is written and very worst effects still avoidable if the world can now do the needful. The report is saying that humanity is changing the Earth's climate in ways unprecedented in thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, according to these climate scientists. And they're saying within the next 2 decades, temperatures are likely to rise by more than 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial level, breaching the ambition of the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, and, of course, causing widespread devastation, as we have seen in different parts of the world. If I will just look at the Daily Mail newspaper quickly, COVID tests, 5 times cost of flights. Now, for those who are traveling from the UK, they've suddenly discovered that COVID tests, travel tests taken at all ends is, of course, costing more than even the flight ticket. And some MPs are saying this is too expensive and it is a rip-off on the UK citizens who are spending so much. Ruben Rufai and Adesowa.
Well, we don't have more time. You've taken up all the time. But on climate change, the concern is that the world faces the crisis of exceeding the 1.5 degrees centigrade. And that, as we have seen in Evia in Greece, and also in Turkey and southern parts of the United States, the world is in a very dangerous place, indeed, with climate change. Ironically, companies like Aramco in Saudi Arabia, Shell, ExxonMobil, they're making huge profits. In the case of Aramco, over 300%. I would have loved to comment on the resident doctors' protest and how the federal government is handling that, but there's no time. I hope somebody will try to resolve that problem at this critical time when hospitals are rejecting people. But thank you, Efeni. We'll see you tomorrow morning.